Each child is a small, unique world, unfortunately destroyed by the Russian aggression. My name is Kateryna Rashevska. I'm a legal expert at the Regional Center for Human Rights. We started as an organization providing free legal aid, but of course after the beginning of the occupation we started documenting war crimes and crimes against humanity. The Russian Federation has deported at least 19,546 Ukrainian children to 57 regions of the Russian Federation.
We were told we're going to a camp in Yevpatoria, but nobody knew where because nobody told us its name. The conditions were really bad. It wasn't a place meant for children.
Now they are trying to turn Ukrainian children into enemies of their proper nation. According to the Genocide Convention and according to the Rome Statute, forcible transfer of children from one group to another group, this is a genocide. On October 25, 2022, we submitted our communication to the ICC. And of course, in these circumstances, the International Criminal Court was so decisive to issue arrest warrants not only against Maria Lvova-Belova, but against Vladimir Putin.
The International Criminal Court has issued 2 warrants of arrest in the Ukraine situation.
It's unprecedented. For us, a return of Ukrainian children is a high priority. Unfortunately, time is playing against Ukrainian children. Ukrainian children who reached the age of majority received summons to Russian army. More than anything, Ukrainian children need peace. And that is why I call to the international community to help Ukraine and Ukrainian non-governmental organizations to repatriate each child deported or forcibly transferred by Russians.
Welcome to the stage, Representative Joe Wilson.
And ladies and gentlemen and friends of democracy, what an humbling experience to be here with you. I particularly am grateful to follow, of all things, Senator Mitch McConnell. His middle name is Addison. My first name is Addison. So I've always claimed him as a cousin. And with that, obviously. And then to be after Svetlana, I've had the opportunity to meet with her a number of times, and I'm so grateful for the country of Lithuania providing such a backup to the people of Belarus. And with Senator Jean Shaheen, with Senator Roger Wicker, I look forward as the co-chair of the Friends of Belarus caucus of the House to one day being in Minsk, where we'll be together in a free and democratic Belarus. And then, and it's special for me to be here tonight because it was 34 years ago that with the International Republican Institute, I was an election observer in Bulgaria. I was visiting, or being there, the most slavish Soviet satellite. Now, a strong member of the European Union, a member of NATO, a great ally of freedom and democracy in promoting truly the people of Ukraine. And then last week, I had the opportunity to be at Normandy, and I saw again where democracies could come together and defeat the dictatorships of Rome and Berlin. And so I'm an optimist that the future will be bright as we work for democracy. But sadly, the world is in a war we did not choose, between dictators with rule of gun and invading democracies with rule of law. War criminal Putin is waging an illegal war of aggression against the people of Ukraine. Many brave Ukrainian people have paid the ultimate price to keep their freedom. Just one example of war crimes that Putin has committed is the planned kidnapping of tens of thousands of Ukrainian children who are sent to re-education camps in Russia and Belarus and often given adoption to Russian families, all with the goal to erase the Ukrainian identity. This act qualifies as genocide under international law. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for war criminal Putin and Children's Commissioner Maria Lvova-Belova with the kidnapping of Ukrainian children. It is largely due to the work of the Regional Center for Human Rights that these warrants were issued. The center was established in 2013 in Sevastopol by Crimean attorneys who moved from Crimea following its occupation to continue working towards justice and accountability for the egregious human rights violations and spotlighting the illegal transfer of the population from Crimea to the Russian Federation back in 2015. The United States Congress is committed to ensuring the safe return of these kidnapped children and to holding the perpetrators accountable. On behalf of the National Endowment for Democracy, I'm grateful to present this 2024 Democracy Award for Regional Center for Human Rights. Here to accept the award is legal expert Kateryna Rashevska and Valeria Sidorova. You get the center seat.
Distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to be the person who receives this award today on behalf of the Regional Center for Human Rights and to express our gratitude. For a human like myself, a small voice for those who have no voice, who struggle so that the cry of the children may be heard in all its power, this is without any doubt the highest honor that I can receive. I know that this award is a recognition not of the RCHR work alone, but of the work of many other organizations and people who have striven to bring hope for those who are looking for their deported children and who are trying to cope with trauma provoked by the Russian aggression. Millions of Ukrainian children are affected by brutal, unprovoked Russian war against Ukraine since 2014. They have been killed, raped, seriously injured, forced to witness or even experience terrifying acts of violence. The consequences for Ukrainian children are at a scale and a speed not seen in Europe since World War II. The Russian Federation has deported more than 20,000 Ukrainian children. And now it imposed its citizenship on them. It transferred them to Russian families for foster care or for adoption, and is trying to eradicate their national identity. Such a policy of the aggressor state proves that it has no intention to return Ukrainian children, and all existing initiatives are just an attempt to avoid the responsibility, including in the International Criminal Code. Currently, the process of repatriation is organized through Qatar, but it seems not to be very effective, as evidenced by the low number of already returned children, only 388 to date. The Regional Center for Human Rights has taken many steps to help Ukrainian children. We have submitted 3 communications to the International Criminal Court, resulting with the issuance of 2 arrest warrants against Vladimir Putin and Lvova-Belova. We have elaborated the concept of the unified legal repatriation mechanism and contributed significantly to the establishment and activity of the International Coalition for Returning Ukrainian Children and Bring Kids Back UA Task Force. We work tirelessly to identify abducted children and to include guilty persons to sanction lists. We advocate for the protection of Ukrainian children in the United States, in Europe, in Canada, but we are also constantly seeking for partnerships with countries of Asia, Latin America, and Africa, because now it's not the time to compare suffering of children. Now it's time to make this world fair and safe for each child. Now it's not the time to tell the world leaders to realize how important the reunification of family is. They already know it. Their children are with them, not with their enemies. Now it's time to tell the world leaders how to help Ukrainian children. They need psychological rehabilitation, medical assistance, educational services. But more than anything else, Ukrainian children need peace. That is why, among key priorities for the Global Peace Summit, we have the repatriation of Ukrainian children. When we look at the world today through the eyes of Ukrainian children, we see a terrifying picture. Too many dreams have been shattered, and too many hopes have been extinguished. It must stop. My greatest hope is that this will be the last time. This will be the last time when we should fight for the return of abducted children to Ukraine or wherever. We must solve it once and for all. Thank you.